I'm Jillian.
And I'm Natasha. And this is Mental Mudslide.
Each episode, we slide down the slippery slopes of our minds. I've got some garden gummies, a head full of wild ideas, and zero filters.
And I'm here to ride that wave and see where our mental mudslides take us. It's all about fun, unexpected turns, and a deep dive into the wacky and wonderful.
Today, you're listening to the After the Slide companion episode. If you haven't listened to the full episode called Keto Conundrums and Slippery Slopes, stop and do that now or you'll be confused. It's important to note that in the After the Slide companion episode that you're listening to right now, I am sober and I am not sober during the original episodes of Mental Mudslides. So, we're going to clear all this up and hopefully I won't ramble as much.
What? I love the rambling. What the heck, Jillian? We are official podcasters. You asked if I was like weirdly excited and giddy about the podcast. And I actually am. And it's really taken me by surprise because I was just not at all expecting to even think about it or care. And I wonder how much of it is my own individual excitement or more so just seeing like how accomplished you are in this and like how far you've gotten and how professional everything looks. And like, I was just thinking to myself, like, honestly, Jilly Beans, like, I'm literally a permanent guest host. Like, and you are, so that's my title. And then every other title that is potentially associated with the production of, hosting of, marketing of, blah, blah, blah of a podcast is all you. And it just, I mean, from my end, it looks so flawless. I gotta say, I mean, I know it's been a lot of effort for it, but like, I just, honest to God, I'm just like, oh, I'll just click on this button. Oh, look at this. And it just, I'm just so proud of you. And so I am
Aw.
truly so excited about it. I really am. So
Okay. I felt like, oh my gosh, like, I don't even know what I'm doing. I feel like I listened to that first episode and I was like, oh, I wish the intro was better. I wish the outro was better. Oh, I wish that I had done this a little different. But all in all, like, I put together a website. I got social media pages. I figured out how to syndicate it to like iTunes and Spotify and like all those places. Like, I figured out how to edit it, how to do all this stuff. And I'm just like, oh my God. And 9 people downloaded it on the first day.
I mean, we're practically millionaires now, babe. Like,
I mean, okay, so, like, I gotta be honest, so then I was like, I don't even know, like, what does a launch podcast possibly look like for downloads? And I went and I did a little research,
of course you
okay?
did.
Of course I
Right.
did.
And I just a
And
little bit further. Everything you've said so far, fuck yeah, you did. Like everything you did. And it's just so impressive and incredible. So yes, please continue, madame, with what else you have
okay,
done.
so I looked up what it like, what is a first podcast? Like, what is an expected amount of downloads? Like, what's average that I'm trying to compare? I just want to see, like, how is this launch
Yeah.
going? Like, right? Um, and what I found was an article. They said that if you get, so they judge it on the first 7 days of release.
Oh, okay.
So that is kind of like, they don't say, oh, the first 24 hours or whatever.
Sure.
It's the first 7 days after you release your episode. And if you get more than 30 downloads in the first 7 days, you are in the top 50% of podcasts.
Get right out of here. Shut the front.
And we
No.
have 9 on the first day.
Dang. Wow. And we're not even
I also am excited because after it went live today,
Mhm.
I watched and I was like, okay, this one from Colorado, like I've got a couple Colorados. New Mexico's probably Natasha listening to it because we got to listen. But there were 2 people from New Mexico. Did you listen to it twice on 2 different streaming platforms? I don't think so. But then we had somebody from California listen, and I don't know who that is, and somebody from Nigeria tuned in.
You
So,
actually
we're
know,
international.
babe, I can't wait, and I'm super hoping that somebody tries to romance scam me because I could use a little of that in my life. So, Nigeria, if you're listening, if this gets if this posted, just hit me up via Jillian because I don't social media. Feel like, as per usual with us, I think we're mudsliding within and after mudslide. You know what's so interesting about these after the slides is we've been friends for years and we have gone on these mental mudslides, just the two of us, for so long, and we've never come back to check. So it is so interesting to actually see what topics we kind of ramble off of and meld into other ones. It's been kind of fascinating.
It really has been. But Natasha,
Yeah.
we're gonna start off, and I have some questions to ask. So we recorded our first episode, the one that we released this week, a few months ago. And one of the big topics that our listeners are going to need an update on is keto poop. So, Natasha, do you have an update on your poop? Are you using less baby wipes, or shall we be seeking a sponsorship from like Pampers here on Mental Mudslides?
Oh man, you know what? If I still had little kids, I think I would say I need the Pampers anyways. But yeah, I guess we can have an update. Oh, maybe I should just give a disclaimer. Um, I think that being named mental mudslides and then just all the topics from our very first launching episode, I just clarify for folks, the podcast itself is not about like bodily function as a whole. It was
I was reflecting on that a lot today. I was like, we probably should have picked some different topics for our very first
well,
episode, but
you guys, we will get our poop in a group. So maybe no poop next time.
no poop next time.
Right.
But we do have to finish. So,
Yes, yes.
how is your poo?
Keto poop. My poop is excellent and my baby wipe consumption is significantly down. But I'm taking the plunge and I'm transitioning from baby wipes to a bidet. I purchased one on Amazon when it was on sale. Have not installed it yet, but it's sitting in my bathroom staring at me and waiting to be installed. And I'm very excited.
I can't wait to visit. Well, I'm excited that you're making this transition into a whole new bathroom routine, if you will.
Yeah, excited. Excited.
Awesome. All right. So, our next topic that we needed to clear up was this one is not my favorite. A fart with a lump in it. I can't believe I brought that up in the last episode. A reminder, I had a garden gummy on board, and nothing's off limits when,
Yeah. No, it was just a natural
So,
transition in the thought process, I'm sure. The keto.
exactly. But Natasha, I have to tell you, I decided to Google it.
Oh dear Lord. Okay.
Are you surprised?
That you Googled it? No, but I'm worried about what I'm gonna hear.
Okay. Well, I spent, I don't know, probably 8 minutes researching this topic prior to this recording right now. But the first thing I found was a Reddit post from 7 years ago. And the title of the Reddit post was called, "Do Farts Have Lumps in Them?" And Natasha, I clicked on the link and it was a joke. So I would love to read the joke to you.
Well, you know I love a good joke. Please, please.
Okay, so here's the joke. The preschool teacher says, "We're going to do vocabulary today. Who can use the word definitely in a sentence?" Mary raises her hand and says, "Me, me, me." The teacher says, "Go ahead. What's the sentence?" Mary replies, "The sky is definitely blue." "That's good, Mary," says the teacher, "but the sky could be gray or white." Sam raises his hand and says, "The grass is definitely green." The teacher said, "That's good, Sam, but grass could be brown too." Johnny raises his hand and says, "Do farts have lumps in them?" The teacher says, "No, Johnny. Why do you ask that?" Johnny replies, "Well, I definitely shit my pants.
Oh, Johnny. Well, I think that proves it. You can't have a lump in a
So
fart.
so that was the first thing I found on my research. But the second thing that I came across was actually a journal on Amazon, and the cover art said, "What's the definition of a surprise? A fart with a lump in it."
I'm just I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of a consumer who looks at that journal and goes, "That's the one for me. I gotta buy that."
That one. Yes, this speaks to me. This is where I wanna write my thoughts and dreams is in this journal. I will say though, I'm, like, looking at the listing and it says out of print. Natasha, I have a big question for you right now.
Oh God. Okay, what?
Do we need merch?
Yes, of course. So long as it's not related to poop.
So, we don't want merch that says, "What's the definition of a surprise? A fart with a lump in it?" Because I could make that happen.
You know what? I'll have to think on that and get back to you. Oh my gosh. Oh
Ah,
wow.
I hate I hate that our next item that we have to clear up is also related to poop. Um, and I would just like to say, like, we're putting this poop conversation to bed after this,
Girl,
okay?
yeah. Good night. Sleep tight. No, no, no. Yeah. Let's get rid of it. Okay.
Okay, but I still have to ask. So, when I listened back to the episode, you talked about having gone camping or visiting people while they were camping. You weren't actually camping.
Yes.
So, and they were teaching the kids the diarrhea song. So you mentioned it, and I was like, wait a second, diarrhea song. I went with it because I was influenced by my garden gummy. But after the fact, I was like, do I know what she's talking about? So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Will you sing it for me?
Wait. Okay. You don't know the diarrhea song?
I'm not sure I do.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow. But now I'm going to be teaching you the song. And once you learn it, you can't unlearn it. Are you sure you want to go
Okay,
down?
well, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with
Okay.
that. Let's hear it.
Okay. Well, and to be fair, the argument still stands. I don't know if I know the right lyrics. I don't know if somebody else knows the right lyrics. So I will sing to you in my beautiful singing voice, ladies and gentlemen. Um, the parts I remember kind of goes a little something like this. When you're sliding into first and you feeling something first, diarrhea, diarrhea. And then something
Okay.
more.
I totally do know this song. I just didn't realize that that was the diarrhea song. Like, have you ever had one of those memories where, like, you forget it, but then, like, you pull the file out and you're like, "Oh, yes, that just wasn't in the somebody filed that incorrectly." I don't know. In my brain.
Jillian, that's my daily experience. Part of why you're such a good friend to me. You remind me of the things that my brain has forgotten for sure. Should we, you know what? I was going to say maybe we should Google this, but I kind of have a feeling we'll just play it to bed. But I do wonder if there is like an original actual version with the correct lyrics. It's from like maybe feels like something that would be in like a movie, like a kid's movie or something, you know? So I do wonder the
Yeah.
origin, but this isn't one that I feel like I want to or need to fact
No.
check. No. Yeah. Okay.
No, we're gonna put that one to bed. We're trying to move past this conversation, but I do have one follow-up question that I feel like our listeners are also going to have.
Oh no.
Um, so you mentioned that once the children learned it, that they were gonna be singing it all of the time and all of that. So it's been a few months, and I wanna know, has this affected your life? Is Smooch singing it?
Well, no, he's not. Luckily, during that conversation, we ended up not teaching the song to everybody the full way. So we started kind of going over it together. And then I was like, hey, oh no, is this something we want them to know? We kind of ended up on another topic. So luckily, A, he didn't learn it. And B, no, I have not had to hear it at all, which I'm very happy about. Except for that now I've sung it. So I guess I have technically heard it since then. Oh
All
gosh.
right. I that I think we're done with the bowel talk by the way. So our
Oh,
next item that we have to kind of clear up a little bit is
mhm.
payphones. It's been 12 hours since our podcast has been live, and we're recording the after the slide episode. We already received a listener submitted photo of a payphone. It has a puppy in it too.
If you guys can't hear this, this is what it sounds like when Natasha's speechless. Sorry. I was, my mouth was agape. Oh my gosh. A, what? We already have somebody interacting with us.
Yeah.
B, somebody found a fucking payphone.
Yeah.
How do we verify? How do we know it wasn't just like some archive video? How do we know they found one on the street? What's the location? Do we know?
She knew that there was a payphone at her pool. So she took her dog for a walk after listening to the episode and went down and took a photo. And the photo also has her dog in it. So, I mean, bonus, right? We got a photo of a payphone and the photo of a dog.
Jillian, I feel like this calls for an impromptu road trip of some sort. Depending on where this person is located, if it is in one of the states that we're in, I feel like we have to go visit this payphone and take a picture of us with the payphone.
It is here in Colorado. So get your ass up here,
Wow.
Natasha.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. Did we get anybody saying anything about if they know where all the rest of the payphones have gone?
Not yet. Not yet. But I mean,
Okay.
it's early. It's early, right?
You know that song, Where Have All the Cowboys Gone? My
Yes.
mo- my mind just sang to me, Where Have All the Payphones Gone? Did it? Did
Yes.
it? Oh my gosh, is this turning into a singing episode? Oh Lord. Oh,
Natasha, if for some reason you cannot make it up here, I'm going to like I want that to be our priority, that we go together.
yeah,
But
yeah.
if for whatever reason in this short amount of time, if you can't make it up here in the next couple of weeks or something, I may need to go and see if I can call you collect from the
Oh my
payphone. I mean, I could use
gosh.
money, but I think it would also be fun to call you collect.
Oh my gosh. Have you ever made a phone call in your life, Jillian?
I I think back in the day, but I don't know how right now. I feel like you used to do something, like you used to call like 1-800 collect. Wasn't that a thing? 1-800 collect was a thing, right? I'm googling it right now. I think it
No,
was.
I think what you do is when no, I'm pretty sure. So I used to
Natasha,
call collect all.
1-800 collect was so popular in that it, let me read you this article. 1-800 collect was so popular in the 90s that AT&T launched a competitive service called 1-800 operator. But 1-800
Oh,
collect was the one everybody remembered.
I think that's originally how collect calls worked. I feel like when I was a kid, if you were calling somebody and you wanted to pay for it and they were out of state or in a different zip code or area code, you would dial one before the phone number. And that's what we do today, technically, right, with cell phones and whatnot. But if you wanted them to pay, so you're calling them collect, meaning they have to collect the funds from that person, you dial a zero at the beginning of the phone number. And then what happens is you still go to like an operator, but then the operator does the connection and asks the person on the other end of the phone if they're willing to accept your collect call. I think that's how we do it. I don't even know if it works. I wonder if calling collect is even available in any method anymore.
I have no idea. And I I do think it's available because I think that's how it works from prisons. Like, I've listened to a lot of I've listened to a lot of podcasts and they like have the little intro where the person like, if the reporter is like talking to an inmate and then they're like, "You're
Yes.
receiving a collect call from," and then they say the person's name. Um, but yeah, I I don't know. I don't know what I would do if I had to call collect. But anyway, we're starting to slide. So I need to keep us back on topic because this is after the slide. We're supposed to be clearing up. So I got to tell you about a milestone that I hit. And it ties back to our episode. So I am 90 days clean from twin snakes.
What?
It's been 90 days since I had any twin snakes. Yeah.
So what phase of grief is this? Like, which of the phases are we in? Is this acceptance?
So yesterday I did pick them up and I was like, fuck you, twin snakes, but I put them back on the shelf. I was so mad. But instead, I bought some sugar-free gummy bears because I'm trying to be sugar-free. But I did look at them and I was like, why? Why? And then I put them back down. I went completely cold turkey. And then I've had like natural sugar, like I can have fruit and that kind of stuff, but just no refined sugar.
To transition to the gummy bear and not give in to the twin snakes, but I I kind of have a confession. Um, since there was so much twin snake conversation in my life, probably about a month ago, I kind of got a hankering for twin snakes myself, which is very out of character for me. I'm not a twin snakes purchaser. I only eat them when I'm with you. And I did buy a whole bag and took them, smuggled them into the movies.
Huh? Natasha, okay, I've got a bunch of problems with this. Number one, you're not supposed to have them either. And number two, I want to go to the movies too. And I would totally smuggle shit into the movies. I would sneak candy into the movies. I'm not gonna pay $9 for like a tiny little thing of candy. I'm gonna go to the store beforehand. I'm sorry. I will buy the expensive popcorn. I will buy your $900 drink, but I'm smuggling my own candy. I'm sorry, that's who I am.
Girl, I barely go to the movies, maybe once a year at the most. You want to hear the irony of this? I went to see
Yes.
The Quiet Place. Okay. The newest Quiet Place. The movie theater's air conditioning system was out of order and they had giant portable AC units in the movie theater. Sitting directly in the row behind me was this machine. And it was so loud, I could not hear anything that happened. Well, and then the twin snakes, I only ate the red and blue ones, but I ate all of them. Yeah. So I apologize. Yes. I'm sorry I had to confess this, but I feel better now. I feel kind of released from my guilt. What's the twin snakes?
Well, I for your health, I want you to also give them up because you're not supposed to have them either. I'm
Thank
sad
you.
about it
Yes.
though, but yeah, I care about you. That's why. Not because misery loves
Well,
company, but because I want you to feel good.
yes, thank you. Like, kind of, I guess I have a follow up question for you then. So, have you had any other treats or anything like that in your life since we recorded this that you found out you also can't have? Or is that kind of the only thing that you've gone back to and been like, oh, there's gluten and I didn't know?
I think that's the only well, not exactly. So, yes, that's the only one. However, the Mexican restaurant that I mentioned, this is so weird that you ask this because you don't even know the story yet. You don't know this story yet.
Okay.
And like I can't believe like you led me right into telling this story. So, the Mexican restaurant that I mentioned in the payphone part of the episode that had the payphone like 18 months ago, they
Jillian,
reopened.
tell me, did you break in? Oh, no, they reopened. Okay. They reopened.
They reopened in a new location. And last week we
Oh,
went and I was like, I love this Mexican restaurant and I like ate there and guess what? I got glutened and I fully had so my gluten symptoms, obviously I get like a little bit of stomach upset. Honestly, that's not the worst. It's not that bad. The real symptom for me is like systemic joint pain. And then I like lose the ability to control my emotions. I cry over everything. And so we
Oh,
went,
no.
I ate the chips, I had the stuff because I've eaten at this Mexican restaurant for years and years, but they changed locations. And I think they changed the kitchen because I was sicker than sick and I cried about everything in my life. I was like, I'm such a failure. Like over everything. It didn't matter.
Oh my God, no.
I was like, I forgot to put my dish in the sink. I'm the worst. Like, I mean, I was like literally that, like everything was hitting. And it's because I didn't ask about their new kitchen setup. I just trusted that that's how they did it there and
No.
that's how they did it there. I didn't even learn anything. What's wrong with me? See? Maybe it's still in my system.
Jillian, you were just so pulled in by getting to have your favorite food again and potentially seeing another payphone. Did the new place have a payphone? Just side note, no.
It does not.
Oh,
It
no,
does
I
not.
can't
It's
believe
very
you
small.
gluttoned.
It's like a very small space. I know. And honestly, they asked us if we wanted the little margaritas or the big margaritas. And Mr. Jillian, as we decided to call him, said, "Oh, we want the big ones." It was bigger than my head. It was giant. I was so sloshed. I was so sloshed. And usually tequila kind of offsets that. Like, no, it didn't this time. So anyway,
Didn't
we
offset your
can't
gluten
we can't
reaction.
slide.
Oh, terrible.
No.
Okay, no
Yeah.
slide.
So no sliding. We've got one topic that we have left. So we kind of ended our episode on your credit card theft story. And
Oh,
I didn't think to ask you this prior to the recording of this, but I do want to possibly bring it up in a future episode. This may be a bridge to another episode, so I don't know if you still have this available. But if by any chance you know how much the total of the Taco Bell and Chipotle portions of that stolen credit card are, we could figure out how many Crunchwrap Supremes they had to buy in order to max out a credit card. And I think that would be super fun to do. That would be like nerd math for me.
oh my God, I love that. We have to do that. You know what? I don't know. I think when you have fraud, I don't know if it stays on and then it just shows as refunds or if it gets totally deleted or if because that account number doesn't technically exist anymore. I don't know if the record's still there, but I will research it and I will find out for you. And by golly,
If,
we will find out the
yeah.
contract count. Oh my
If you can't find it out, then I'm staking a flag in the ground right now that if we have our credit card stolen in the future and they happen to, like use it at Taco Bell or Domino's or something, that we need to calculate how many they had to buy in order to succeed on that, right?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Well, Jillian, I actually had a couple of things also from the episode that I realized after listening back to it that I kind of wanted to share with you. Um, we were talking a lot about like and all of those things and that I got diagnosed and all of that, but I kind of wanted to clear something up because we never talked about what I was diagnosed. So I just wanted to say that because people might assume one thing versus another. So I actually found out that I have Hashimoto's. So that is what we were kind of talking about, at least from my end of the gluten journey, I guess you will. So mine's more of like an autoimmune deficiency, than kind of like an allergy or a direct reaction, if you will, kind of to gluten. So yeah, I'm a Hashimoto. I mean, if you're gonna have a disease, that's a good name to go with. You know what I mean? That's a fun one. So
It's a very catchy name. I'm sure it's no fun as far as a disease, but like the name is fun to say.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it basically eats my thyroid, so that's not so cool, but the name is kinda
No.
cool. It's like sort of like, I don't know, like, video game, like, character name, and I can imagine it being like a little, like, Mr. Pac-Man, like, eating at my I don't know. Anyway, so
Sounds like a cool villain for sure.
so I had that, and then also, I don't know what happened during the episode or why I was so dense, and I feel so silly, like, listening back to it now. But when I was listening and we were talking about, like, the text message that you sent me, about, like, being able to, like, smell foods and all of that kind of stuff, I am so just not capable of, like, recognizing certain things that for some reason, really thought the whole thing was about whether or not other people had the same, like, experience with smells and not just about, like, the emotional vulnerability of sharing that kind of information with somebody. So I was like, "Oh, wow, Natasha, good catch there, dear." Oh my god. But I did wanna say, no, I didn't think it was weird when I got the message from you, and I love that you're so vulnerable and feel comfortable enough with me and now our mudslide mamas, to kinda share those things, like, that you feel vulnerable about. So, and you can always tell me anything. I'll never judge you because I love you to pieces.
I know. I know.
All right, guys. Well, I think that wraps it up for our first After the Slide episode. Please tune in next Tuesday to hear our new episode for mental mudslides. Jillian, what do we have on deck for topics? Do you know?
I do know. We're talking about celebrity deaths and my involvement in them.
Oh, that's going to be a good one. See you next time. Bye.